Look around you. Most men walking through life weren't raised to be powerful. They were raised to be useful, dependable, nice. The guy who shows up when called, the one who fixes problems for everyone except himself. Your father might have taught you to work hard, to be honest. Maybe even to respect people. And that's fine, noble even. But did he teach you how to command a room without saying a word? Did he teach you that being too available makes you weak? That emotional control is the difference between being a king or being a pawn? Probably not, because most fathers were raised the same way, soft, compliant, conditioned to fit in, not to dominate. They passed down what they knew, which was survival, not sovereignty. They taught you how to get by, not how to get ahead. And here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. The world doesn't respect softness. It never has. It never will. It respects power, strategy, discipline. The man who can't be controlled, manipulated, or used. Today, you're going to learn what your father should have taught you but didn't. Not because he was a bad man, but because he didn't know. Maybe nobody taught him either. This isn't about blame. This is about breaking the cycle. This is about transformation. We're going deep into Machiavellian principles today, the kind of lessons that separate boys from men, followers from leaders, victims from rulers. These aren't feel-good platitudes. This is raw, unfiltered truth about power, respect, and dominance in the real world. Before we begin, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I choose power over approval. Let me see who's really ready for this. Let me see who's serious about change. Let's begin. Number 1. Childhood blindness and harsh reality. You were raised in a fantasy, a bubble, a carefully constructed lie designed to keep you obedient and manageable. Your parents, your teachers, maybe even your community, they all told you the same story. Be good, work hard, and everything will work out. They told you to share, to be kind, to play fair, to avoid conflict, to trust people, to believe in justice. And you believed it because you were a kid. You had no reason not to. The adults in your life seemed to have it figured out, so you trusted their blueprint. But then reality hit, and it hit hard. You stepped into the real world and realized something terrifying. Nobody cares about your intentions. Nobody rewards you for being nice. The game isn't fair. People lie. They cheat. They take advantage. They smile in your face and stab you in the back the moment it benefits them. And suddenly you're confused. You're angry. You feel betrayed. You feel cheated because the rules you were taught don't match the world you're living in. You were told honesty always wins, but you watch liars succeed. You were told hard work pays off, but you watch lazy people with connections get promoted. You were told treat people right and they'll treat you right, but you watch your loyalty get exploited and your kindness get mistaken for weakness. Here's what Machiavelli understood 500 years ago. What your father probably didn't understand, and what you need to internalize right now. The world doesn't belong to the innocent. It belongs to the strong, the strategic, the ones who see reality for what it is and adapt without hesitation. You weren't prepared for cruelty because your upbringing protected you from it. Your parents shielded you. Your teachers created safe spaces. Your environment was controlled. But protection isn't preparation. It's a cage, a comfortable prison that keeps you weak. And now you're out here exposed, wondering why people don't treat you the way you treat them, wondering why your loyalty gets rewarded with betrayal, why your kindness gets rewarded with exploitation, why your trust gets rewarded with manipulation. Let me tell you something brutal but true. Society rewards power, not purity. It respects discipline, not naivety. It elevates strength, not softness. The man who understands this moves differently. He doesn't cry about unfairness. He doesn't complain about how things should be. He learns the rules of the real game and masters them. Because here's the thing. You can spend your whole life wishing the world was different, or you can spend that energy becoming powerful enough to thrive in the world as it actually is. Childhood taught you to play nice, but manhood demands that you play smart. Childhood taught you to follow rules, but manhood demands that you understand which rules are real and which are just tools to control you. If you grew up blind to this, it's not your fault. Your environment shaped you. But staying blind, refusing to see, continuing to operate on childhood programming in an adult world, that's a choice, and it's costing you everything. Your relationships, your career, your self-respect, your potential. All of it suffers when you refuse to see reality clearly. So open your eyes. Stop expecting fairness. Stop expecting people to operate with your moral code. Stop being shocked when the world doesn't match your childhood fantasy. See it for what it is. Then adapt, evolve. Become the man who thrives in reality, not the boy who clings to illusion. Now I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I see reality clearly. Number 2, useful men versus powerful men. Let me ask you something and be honest with yourself. When people think of you, what do they see? Do they see a man they respect, a man they admire, a man whose word carries weight and whose presence commands attention? Or do they see a tool they can use, a resource they can tap into whenever they need something? The reliable guy who always helps out. Most men fall into the second category without even realizing it. They've been conditioned since childhood to be helpers, fixers, problem solvers. The guy who shows up when someone needs a favor, the dependable one, the team player. And on the surface, that sounds honorable. It sounds like a virtue. Your father probably praised you for being helpful. Your mother probably loved that you were so considerate. Society definitely rewarded you with approval for being useful. But here's the trap nobody warned you about. When you're always the one fixing things for others, you become a resource, not a leader. Not someone with authority, not someone people respect, just a useful object they keep around. Useful men get called when something's broken. Powerful men get called when decisions need to be made. Useful men are praised for their effort. Powerful men are feared and respected for their presence. Useful men bend their schedules for everyone. Powerful men create the schedules others follow. Useful men ask, "How can I help?" Powerful men ask, "What do you bring to the table?" Useful men make themselves available at all hours. Powerful men make others wait for their time. See the difference? It's not about being a bad person. It's about understanding the game. It's about recognizing that helpfulness without boundaries turns you into a doormat. Reliability without respect turns you into a servant. Machiavelli knew this. He understood that the worst position a man can occupy is being indispensable to someone else's comfort. Because the moment you become too available, too helpful, too eager to please, you lose your value. You become predictable, expected, taken for granted, replaceable. Think about the people in your life right now. The ones who call you only when they need something. The ones who disappear when you need help, but expect you to drop everything for them. The ones who appreciate your effort, but don't respect your time. Those people don't see you as powerful. They see you as useful. And as long as you keep playing that role, nothing changes. Powerful men don't live to serve. They create influence, they set direction. They build systems where others depend on them, not the other way around. They contribute, yes, but on their terms, with boundaries, with conditions. Now, I'm not saying become a selfish monster who refuses to help anyone. I'm not saying abandon empathy or compassion. I'm saying this: stop making yourself so accessible that people forget you have your own life, your own goals, your own path, your own priorities. When you become the guy everyone runs to, you're not powerful. You're just convenient. And the moment you're no longer convenient, the moment you say no, the moment you prioritize yourself, you'll see how fast people forget you, how quickly their appreciation disappears. Build yourself into a man people need to earn access to, not because you're arrogant, but because your time, energy, and presence are genuinely worth something, because you've built yourself into someone valuable, not just useful. Stop being the tool in someone else's hand. Start being the architect of your own empire. Stop being useful. Start being powerful. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I create, not comply. Number 3, power through scarcity and self-respect. Here's a test. Think about the last time someone texted you. How long did it take you to respond? If you answered within seconds or minutes, you're losing. You're actively destroying your own value. I know that sounds harsh. I know it goes against everything you've been taught about being responsive and available, but it's the truth. Constant availability destroys respect. When you're always there, always responding, always ready to drop everything for someone else, you train people to take you for granted. Scarcity creates value. Always has, always will. This is basic economics, basic human psychology. It's how the world works. Think about anything expensive in this world. Gold, diamonds, limited edition sneakers, designer watches, exclusive memberships. Why are they valuable? Not because they're inherently better than alternatives, but because they're rare, hard to get. Not everyone can have them. The scarcity itself creates the value. Your time works the same way. Your attention works the same way. Your presence works the same way. The moment you give it away freely to anyone who asks, it becomes worthless. Most men don't understand this. They think being constantly available makes them valuable, makes them good friends, good partners, good employees. But it doesn't. It makes them forgettable. Expected background noise. Now, I'm not telling you to play games or be fake. I'm not telling you to ignore people just for the sake of it. I'm telling you to respect yourself enough to guard what's yours. Your energy isn't unlimited. Your focus isn't infinite. Your time is literally your life. And every minute you spend is a minute you'll never get back. Every time you say yes to someone else, you're saying no to yourself. Every time you drop what you're doing to handle someone else's emergency, you're teaching them that your priorities don't matter, that you'll always be there, that they don't need to respect your time because you don't respect it yourself. Powerful men understand this instinctively. They don't answer every call, they don't reply to every message within seconds, they don't rearrange their entire day because someone asked them to. They don't feel guilty about it either. Not out of rudeness, not out of arrogance, out of self-respect, out of understanding that their time has value and they need to protect it. When you make yourself scarce, something magical shifts. People start valuing your presence. They stop assuming you'll always be available. They approach you differently, with more respect, more appreciation, more awareness that your time is valuable. Machiavelli once said, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." But here's the twist most people miss. Scarcity creates both. People fear losing access to you, and they love the rare moments they actually get it. Your absence makes your presence more powerful. Think about people you respect, really respect. Are they constantly available? Are they always the first to respond? Do they drop everything for anyone? Or do they have boundaries, standards, a life they prioritize? Your time is currency. Your attention is power. The moment you start treating them like they're cheap and unlimited, everyone else will too. Start protecting your availability. Start creating space between messages. Start saying no without explanation or guilt. Start prioritizing your own schedule, your own goals, your own peace. Watch what happens. Watch how people start treating you differently. How they start appreciating the moments you do show up. How they start respecting your boundaries, because you finally started respecting them yourself. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. My presence is valuable. Number 4, emotional detachment and cold control. Let's talk about something most men struggle with their entire lives: emotions. You've been lied to about feelings your entire life. From childhood, society has fed you a narrative. Express yourself. Be vulnerable. Let it out. Show your emotions. Don't bottle things up. And sure, there's a time and place for emotional expression, in therapy, with trusted people, in private moments, in appropriate contexts. But in the battlefield of life, in competition, in business, in social dynamics, in relationships, emotions are a weakness, a liability, a button people can press to control you. Think about it. Really think about it. When was the last time someone made you angry, made you frustrated, made you jealous, made you feel guilty? And what did you do in that moment? You reacted. You said something you regretted later. You made a decision based on how you felt in that heated moment, not on what was actually smart or strategic. You let your emotions drive your actions. And that reaction, that emotional outburst or emotional decision, that's exactly what they wanted. Because the moment you lose control of your emotions, someone else gains control of you. Emotional men get manipulated like puppets. They get baited into arguments they shouldn't be having. They get played like instruments. Someone says the right thing, pushes the right button, and suddenly they're dancing. One compliment and they're loyal. One insult and they're ready to burn bridges. One guilt trip and they're doing things against their own interest. Cold doesn't mean cruel. It doesn't mean heartless or sociopathic. It doesn't mean you don't feel anything. It means clear, calculated, in control. It means you feel everything, but you decide how and when and whether to respond. A powerful man feels anger, but doesn't act on it immediately. He feels fear, but doesn't let it paralyze him. He feels attraction, but doesn't let it make him stupid. He feels guilt, but examines whether it's legitimate or manipulation. He feels everything a normal human feels, but he controls the gap between feeling and action. He creates space between what happens to him and how he responds to it. That gap, that pause, is where all power lives. In that space, you become dangerous because while everyone else is reacting emotionally, you're thinking, calculating, planning your next move strategically. Machiavelli understood this better than almost anyone. He knew that the ruler who lets emotions dictate his actions will lose everything. Anger makes you reckless, and reckless men make fatal mistakes. Fear makes you weak, and weak men get dominated. Pride makes you blind to reality, and blind men walk off cliffs. Love makes you stupid, and stupid men destroy themselves for people who don't deserve it. Master the gap. When someone insults you, pause before responding. When someone tries to provoke you into an argument, pause and ask yourself why they want you emotional. When something goes wrong, pause before deciding how to handle it. When someone tries to guilt you, pause and examine whether their guilt is legitimate or manipulation. In that pause, you reclaim your power. In that pause, you separate yourself from the emotional masses who are constantly being played. In that pause, you think like a strategist instead of reacting like a child. He who controls his reactions controls his world. He who controls his emotional state controls how others can influence him. He who lets feelings drive him becomes a passenger in his own life, taken wherever his emotions and other people's manipulation want him to go. Stop being emotional. Start being strategic. Feel everything, but let nothing control you. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I control my response. Number 5. Necessary cruelty and ruthless priorities. This one's going to make some people uncomfortable, but comfort is the enemy of growth. So let's go deep. You need to be cruel sometimes. Not evil, not malicious, not sadistic, but willing to do what's necessary. Even when it makes others uncomfortable, even when it disappoints people, even when it makes you the bad guy in someone else's story. Most men avoid this their entire lives because they want to be liked. They want approval. They want people to think they're good guys. So they say yes when they should say no. They stay in situations that drain them. They tolerate disrespect because setting a boundary might hurt someone's feelings. They sacrifice their dreams to keep the peace. They dim their light so others don't feel threatened. And that's not kindness, that's not compassion. That's weakness disguised as virtue. That's self-destruction wrapped in noble-sounding justifications. Necessary cruelty means cutting people off who consistently waste your time and energy. It means saying no without explanation or justification. It means prioritizing your goals over other people's comfort. It means being willing to walk away from anything or anyone that doesn't serve your growth, even if they've been in your life forever. It means disappointing people when necessary. It means being misunderstood. It means accepting that some people will call you selfish when you're really just choosing yourself. You think successful men got where they are by being nice to everyone, by making everyone happy, by avoiding difficult conversations, by keeping peace at all costs. No. They made hard choices. They fired people who weren't performing. They ended friendships that were draining them. They said no to family members who wanted to guilt them into sacrificing their goals. They walked away from relationships that felt comfortable but weren't growing them. They ruthlessly protected their time, energy, and vision. And people called them cold. People called them selfish. People said they changed, and they kept moving forward anyway. Machiavelli once said, "A prince must learn to be other than good, to be other. Not because goodness is bad, not because cruelty should be your default, but because clinging to kindness in every situation, refusing to ever be harsh or firm, trying to please everyone, that will destroy you. Sometimes you have to be cold. Sometimes you have to be harsh. Sometimes you have to hurt people's feelings. Sometimes you have to choose yourself over everyone else. And that's not selfish. That's survival. That's self-respect. That's understanding that you can't set yourself on fire to keep others warm. Because here's the brutal truth nobody tells you. The people who guilt you for having boundaries are usually the same people who benefit from you not having any. The people who call you selfish for prioritizing yourself are often the people who were exploiting your selflessness. The people who get angry when you change are the people who preferred you weak and controllable. Think about your life right now. Who are you tolerating that you shouldn't? What situations are you staying in that are slowly killing you? What boundaries do you need to set but haven't because you're afraid of the reaction? That fear is keeping you trapped. That need for approval is keeping you small. That desire to be seen as good is preventing you from being powerful. Stop apologizing for your decisions. Stop explaining yourself to people who wouldn't understand anyway. Stop justifying your boundaries to people who don't respect them. Stop choosing short-term validation over long-term strategy. Stop sacrificing your future to maintain someone else's comfort in the present. Kindness without strength is self-destruction. Compassion without boundaries is suicide. Be strong first. Be kind when you can afford it. Protect yourself ruthlessly. Then extend generosity from a position of power, not weakness. Now, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I protect my path. Number 6, autonomy and zero approval dependence. How many decisions have you delayed this week because you were waiting for someone to agree with you? How many dreams have you postponed this year because you needed someone else's permission or approval? How many times in your life have you changed direction, abandoned goals, or dimmed your ambition because someone, your parents, your partner, your friends, society, disapproved? If the answer is more than 0, you're not free. You're a prisoner, not behind physical bars, but behind something worse, the prison of other people's opinions. Most men destroy their entire lives seeking acceptance, from parents who have their own unhealed wounds and outdated beliefs, from friends who are often just as lost and confused, from society that wants you obedient and predictable, from strangers on the internet whose opinions literally don't matter, from people whose lives they wouldn't even want to live. They shape their decisions around what others will think. They avoid risks because someone might judge them. They choose safe, conventional paths because bold moves invite criticism. They live small, quiet, unremarkable lives because big moves, loud success, and remarkable achievements make others uncomfortable. And in doing so, they give away the only thing that truly matters in life: autonomy, self-rule, the ability to chart your own course and live by your own standards. Autonomy means making decisions based on your vision, not someone else's comfort. It means trusting yourself more than you trust the crowd. It means being willing to stand completely alone if that's what your path requires. It means having the courage to be misunderstood, criticized, doubted, and judged, and moving forward anyway. Powerful men don't ask for permission. They don't seek validation before they act. They don't need a committee to approve their decisions. They decide, they act, and they deal with the consequences. They'd rather fail spectacularly on their own terms than succeed following someone else's safe, boring script. Machiavelli warned about this extensively. He said, "A ruler who relies on the goodwill of others for his destiny will fall the moment that goodwill disappears." And it always disappears. People are fickle. Opinions change like weather. Support evaporates when you need it most. Approval is here today and gone tomorrow. The only foundation you can truly trust is yourself, your judgment, your standards, your vision, your commitment to your own path. Stop waiting for applause before you move. Stop looking for approval before you decide. Stop needing someone to co-sign your choices. Stop asking permission from people who have no authority over your life. Stop letting others vote on your dreams, your life, your rules, your responsibility, your consequences, your rewards. The moment you truly internalize this, everything changes, because now you're not playing for an audience. You're not performing for approval. You're not seeking validation from people whose opinions shouldn't matter. You're building for yourself. You're living for yourself. You're answering to yourself, and that's when you become untouchable. Because how can anyone control you when their approval means nothing to you? How can anyone manipulate you when you don't need their acceptance? How can anyone hold you back when you've stopped waiting for permission? Drop this affirmation in the comments. I rule my life. Number 7, limited availability and controlled access. You know what kills relationships faster than anything? Not distance, not arguments, not even betrayal. Overexposure. When you're always available, always accessible, always ready to show up at a moment's notice, you stop being special. You become background noise, expected, taken for granted, just another thing that's always there, like air or water, only noticed when it's suddenly gone. People respect what they can't easily have. It's human nature. It's how we're wired. The harder something is to access, the more value we assign to it. This applies to everything. Products, experiences, opportunities, and yes, people. Your time works the same way. Your presence works the same way. Your mental energy, your emotional bandwidth, your focus, your attention. All of it has more power, more impact, more value when it's scarce, when it's protected, when it's not given away freely to anyone who asks. Now, I'm not saying ghost people or play stupid games or be intentionally difficult. I'm saying protect yourself. Guard your inner world like it's the most valuable thing you own, because it is. Guard your time like it's your most precious resource, because it is. Guard your energy like it's finite and irreplaceable, because it is. Most men give themselves away too freely. They're an open book. They answer every question. They share every thought. They explain every decision. They make themselves completely available to anyone who asks. They have no mystery, no boundaries, no protected space. And then they wonder why nobody respects them, why people take them for granted, why their presence doesn't carry weight, why they're constantly drained and depleted. Powerful men create boundaries, strong boundaries, clear boundaries, boundaries they don't apologize for or negotiate about. They don't explain everything about themselves. They don't feel obligated to respond to every message immediately. They don't make their schedule revolve around other people's needs and emergencies. They don't give everyone access to their time, their thoughts, their energy. Machiavelli once said, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience who you are." That's not accidental. That's intentional. That's strategic. Mystery creates power. When people can't fully read you, they respect you more. When they can't predict your every move, they pay closer attention. When they can't access you easily, they value the moments they do get access. This applies to everything in life. Relationships, friendships, business, professional networks, even family. When you're always the one initiating, always the one reaching out, always the one making effort, you've inverted the power dynamic. You've made yourself the pursuer instead of the pursued. Stop being so available that people forget you have a life outside of them. Stop explaining yourself so much that there's no mystery left, no depth to discover. Stop giving so freely that your presence loses its weight, its impact, its value. Be selective about who gets your time. Be intentional about who gets your energy. Be protective about who gets access to your inner world. Be scarce enough that your presence becomes an event, not an expectation. People will respect you more, they'll pursue you harder, they'll value you deeper, they'll appreciate the time you do give them because they know it's not guaranteed, not automatic, not something they're entitled to. Guard your inner world like a fortress, because once you let everyone in, once you've given everyone access, once you've shared everything, you've got nothing left that's truly yours. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I guard my energy. Number 8. The power of silence and presence. Here's something most men get completely wrong their entire lives. They think talking makes them powerful. They think the loudest voice wins. They think the person dominating the conversation is the one in control. Wrong. Dead wrong. Silence is power. Presence is dominance. The man who truly controls a room isn't the one running his mouth constantly. It's the one who doesn't need to. It's the one who can sit quietly while everyone else scrambles to fill the silence. It's the one whose words carry weight because he doesn't waste them. Think about every powerful figure you've ever encountered in your life. Real power, not fake authority. Bosses worth respecting. Mentors who changed your life. Leaders who actually led. The men who commanded genuine respect. Not fear or compliance, but real respect. Did they talk the most? Were they constantly explaining themselves? Did they dominate every conversation? Or did they speak less, listen more, and make every word count? Did their presence alone shift the energy in the room? Too much talking exposes weakness. It reveals insecurity. It shows that you need validation, that you're trying to prove something, that you're uncomfortable with silence. It demonstrates that you feel the need to fill every gap, explain every decision, justify every action. Powerful men are comfortable with quiet, deeply comfortable. They don't fill every gap in conversation with nervous chatter. They don't explain themselves unless it's actually necessary. They don't feel the need to defend their position constantly or justify their choices to people who didn't ask. Why? Because they understand something crucial. Silence creates tension, and tension creates attention. When you speak less, people listen more carefully. When you hold back, they lean in, trying to understand. When you don't react immediately, they start questioning themselves, wondering what you're thinking, trying to read you. Silence is a weapon if you know how to use it. In negotiations, the one who speaks first usually loses. In arguments, the one who stays calm while the other person loses control wins by default. In relationships, the one who needs less has more power. In any power dynamic, the one most comfortable with silence controls the flow. And beyond words, there's presence. The way you carry yourself physically, the energy you bring into a room, the way people feel when you're around, even if you're not saying anything. You can say nothing and still dominate a space. You can sit quietly in a meeting and still control the entire dynamic. You can listen more than you speak and still be the one everyone defers to when decisions need to be made. Machiavelli understood this deeply. He knew that perception shapes reality in human interactions, and the man who masters his presence, who controls what he reveals and when, who uses silence strategically, that man controls how others perceive him. That man controls the entire interaction without appearing to try. Most men do the opposite. They over-explain when questioned, making themselves look defensive. They keep talking when they should stop, diluting their message. They fill uncomfortable silences with rambling, giving away information and power. Stop doing that. Stop over-explaining every little thing. Stop defending yourself against every criticism or question. Stop filling silence with nervous chatter just because quiet makes you uncomfortable. Instead, get comfortable with silence. Use it strategically. Let others fill the gaps while you observe. Let others reveal themselves while you remain a mystery. Let others talk themselves into corners while you stay calm and centered and work on your presence. How you walk into a room, how you carry yourself, the energy you project, even when you're not speaking. Are you fidgety and nervous, or are you calm and grounded? Do you seem desperate for approval, or do you seem complete in yourself? Let silence be your weapon, let presence be your power. Let others wonder what you're thinking while you observe everything. Watch how differently people treat you when you master this. Watch how much more they respect your words when you use fewer of them. Watch how much more power you have when you're comfortable being quiet. Now, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. Silence is strength. Number 9, independence, solitude, and self-sovereignty. Let me tell you about the most dangerous man in any room. He's not the loudest, he's not the most charming, he's not the most physically intimidating. He's not even the most skilled or the most intelligent. He's the one who doesn't need anyone, the one who's complete in himself, the one who can stand alone without crumbling, the man who doesn't rely on external validation to feel whole, who doesn't need constant company to feel secure, who doesn't need anyone's approval to know his worth, who's built himself into a fortress that no one can breach unless he chooses to let them in. Most men are terrified of solitude, genuinely terrified. They surround themselves with people constantly because they're afraid of their own thoughts. They need constant stimulation, phones, TV, social media, noise, anything to avoid silence. They need constant approval and validation from others to feel okay about themselves. They need constant distraction from the voice in their head telling them they're not enough. But powerful men embrace solitude. They don't just tolerate it. They actively seek it. They protect it. They guard it like treasure. Why? Because solitude is where real transformation happens. Solitude builds clarity. It strips away all the noise, all the conflicting opinions, all the external influences trying to shape you into something you're not. In solitude, you face yourself. Not the version you perform for others, not the mask you wear in social situations, the real you. And in that space, uncomfortable as it might be, you build something invaluable: mental armor, true independence, self-sovereignty. A man who can't be alone is easy to control. Threaten his relationships and he'll fold immediately. Threaten his social status and he'll comply with anything. Threaten his comfort, his connection, his sense of belonging, and he'll surrender his principles, his goals, his very identity, just to avoid isolation. But a man who's comfortable in his own company, who's built strength and clarity in isolation, who doesn't need anyone's approval to feel complete, who's faced himself in silence and come out stronger, that man is untouchable, unmanipulable, uncontrollable. Because what can you threaten him with? Isolation? He's already comfortable alone. Rejection? He doesn't need your acceptance, disapproval. He's not seeking your validation anyway. Social consequences? He's willing to stand alone if necessary. Machiavelli once said, "The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him." But here's the deeper, more powerful truth that most people miss. The strongest ruler is the one who doesn't actually need anyone around him at all. The one who surrounds himself with people by choice, not by need. Solitude isn't loneliness. That's what weak men don't understand. Loneliness is feeling alone even when you're surrounded by people because you don't feel connected or understood. Solitude is choosing to be alone because that's where you do your best thinking, your deepest work, your most important growth. In solitude, you rebuild yourself without outside influence. You plan without interference. You grow without distraction. You think clearly without other people's agendas clouding your judgment. No outside influence means no manipulation. No dependency means no leverage against you. No need for approval means total freedom to be exactly who you are and pursue exactly what you want. Start spending serious time alone, not scrolling mindlessly through your phone, just being. Sitting with your thoughts, thinking deeply about your life, your goals, your principles, your path, planning your next moves, building mental strength. The strongest fortress isn't made of stone, it's a disciplined mind, and you can only build that in solitude. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I stand alone strong. Number 10, reinvention, killing the weak version of you. Here's the final lesson. This is where everything comes together. That version of you, the one who people pleased, who sought constant approval, who avoided conflict, who played it safe, that version needs to die. Not eventually. Now. You can't become powerful while clinging to weakness. You can't build a new life while living in the shadows of who you used to be. Every successful man has killed previous versions of himself. The broke version, the weak version, the uncertain version. They acknowledged those old selves, thanked them for getting them that far, and buried them. Then they built something better, something stronger. Most people stay stuck because they're attached to their old identity. This is just who I am. I've always been this way. That attachment becomes a prison, the one you build yourself and lock from the inside. Machiavelli said, "A ruler must reshape himself as the times demand." Not because he's fake, but because evolution is survival. The man who refuses to change dies in every way that matters. The man who adapts dominates. So ask yourself, what version needs to die today? Is it the version that says yes to everything? Kill it. Replace it with one that knows every yes to others is a no to yourself. Is it the version that fears judgment? Kill it. Replace it with one that understands other people's opinions aren't your responsibility. Is it the version that waits for permission? Kill it. Replace it with one that understands autonomy is everything. Is it the version that tolerates disrespect? Kill it. Replace it with one that has unshakable self-respect. Is it the emotionally reactive version? Kill it. Replace it with one that feels everything but controls everything. Destroy every outdated identity keeping you weak, every limiting belief keeping you small, every people-pleasing habit keeping you trapped. Then rebuild from the ground up based on strength, not weakness, based on strategy, not emotion, based on self-respect, not external validation. This isn't about being fake. This is about removing the masks society put on you. This is about becoming who you were meant to be before the world told you to be small, soft, compliant. You're not behind because of your past. You're behind if you refuse to transform right now. Choose to kill the weak version and build the powerful one. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. The world isn't waiting. Life isn't pausing. Your competition isn't sitting still. Reinvent or die. Evolve or stagnate. Transform or be left behind. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I am reborn strong. So, here we are. 10 lessons your father should have taught you, but probably didn't. If he didn't teach you these things, it's not your fault. Maybe he didn't know them himself. Maybe he was raised with the same limiting beliefs. But here's what matters now. You know, you've seen the blueprint. So what are you going to do with this knowledge? Are you going to close this video and go right back to being the same man? Back to seeking approval, being too available, letting emotions control you, tolerating disrespect? Or are you going to implement these principles? Are you going to become the man who can't be controlled, manipulated, or used? Transformation happens by decision, and that decision needs to be made right now. If this video hit you, if it made you uncomfortable, good. That discomfort is growth knocking on your door. Don't ignore it. Hit that like button as a commitment to change. Then share this video with one man who needs to hear it. Don't gatekeep this knowledge. Subscribe to this channel because we're just getting started. Every video here is designed to make you stronger, sharper, more strategic. This is where boys become men. Drop your affirmations in the comments. Let me see who's ready to walk this path. Remember, you're not behind because of your past. You're only behind if you refuse to transform. Close this video and immediately do one thing differently. Set one boundary. Say one no. Make one decision without seeking approval. Start now. Rebuild yourself. Become untouchable. I'll see you in the next one.